begun the AI wars have. We're going to talk about Microsoft sticking it to OpenAI. So they were going in with OpenAI to power Copilot, right? That was, I guess, the thing they were doing was like a $13 billion deal or whatever. And now it turns out that Microsoft is just building its own AI. And if I had to guess what happened, I would say OpenAI probably turned over papers, turned over research to Microsoft, and they decided, you know, we can do this ourselves. And this happens a lot with corporations. They stab each other in the back all the time. And I was having a conversation with my son the other day about buyout offers. And usually what happens, you know, when a company comes along and says, hey, we're going to offer to buy you out, if you say no, they will destroy you. You know, and so you're better off in some cases to just take the money because they're going to destroy you anyway. It's just easier for them. The path of least resistance is to just give you some money to buy you off. But I've seen this happen time and time and time again. So we're going to talk about this. They're definitely going to start knifing each other in the back, as I believe the resources are going to dwindle. And I'm not just talking the RAM. I'm not just talking you know, the GPUs or whatever. I think that all these companies realize that there's a finite audience for AI. And I think that the general public is starting to realize that maybe AI isn't as magical as we thought it was. You know, maybe it has its place, but it's not going to be the cure-all for everything. Or they're afraid of it, because there are a lot of people coming out now saying, hey, this thing is going to go off the rails. I don't know if I believe that, because that sort of assumes that humans are capable of making something better than themselves, and I don't think we are. I think we're still basically monkeys banging rocks, trying to make fire. But, you know, it looks impressive. If you don't know how to make fire, it looks impressive to the other monkeys. You know, so that's what I think is actually going on. That's my personal opinion. But let's talk about this, because this could be bad news for not just OpenAI, but also Microsoft, because again, people are rejecting Copilot. And we've been covering this at length, actually. Just Copilot is being injected into everything. People are saying that Microsoft is using AI to write its code, which is leading to updates which break computers. But they're going to double, triple down on it because, you know, they're this far into it, right? They could, if they were smart, just be like, hey, yeah, people don't want this, so we'll make Copilot optional. We won't install it without your consent on your computer. But no. They want everybody to run. They want everybody to lease their computers, which I saw the other day. Somebody actually sent me a link, and I apologize, I don't remember who it was, that HP Omen now is letting you basically lease a gaming laptop, which I actually have an Omen laptop, and that's the one that got broken by the update. So I had to put Linux on it. But you can lease it for like $150 a month. That's where we're at. But that's what all these companies want. They want you to lease your equipment to basically pay them a service fee every month, and then they become Netflix, more or less. You pay them, you know, $50 to $100 a month for the privilege of having an operating system that's enshittified with AI, or they'll try to sell it to you, be like, hey, your computer at home can't handle the AI, so subscribe to our cloud computer. And that's what I think is going to happen, and Amazon's looking at that too. I don't know if consumers are going to go for it. I really don't think they are. I think people are so damn sick of not owning their stuff, and these companies keep trying to force you to lease instead of own. And I think it's going to hit a tipping point. I think for sure people are going to be like, you know what? Enough is enough. Even if we're stuck with this years old technology, at least we own it and it works. And I'm kind of that way. Like my car, I have a, oh my God, it's probably 12-year-old Toyota that's bought and paid for. It runs fine. It's got less than 50,000 miles on it. That's my car. I don't want a new car. Like my wife bought a new car, and it's all like everything's electronic. It's all touch screen. And I'm like, what if that stuff breaks? And two, they have access to your car, and now they're starting to charge people for access to certain features. Oh, you want heated seats? Oh, that's $20 a month. I'm like, hell no. The car I bought, it just works. It just runs, right? It's like I don't have to worry about this. It's not, there's some electronics in it, but not to the point where I can't run the car if they decide to push a button somewhere and shut me off from my own vehicle. So that's what I think we're looking at. But anyway, let's talk about Microsoft. They're building its own AI model. as it loosens ties to OpenAI. Man, OpenAI is screwed. NVIDIA was going to give them a whole bunch of money. That didn't happen. Microsoft was going to give them a whole bunch of money. That didn't happen. And we got clueless Sam Altman here being like, well, we're bleeding out money. Somebody said they're going to lose like $100 billion this year or some crazy amount. I mean, it's just insane. So this is coming from X.com. This comes from Nick. Breaking: Microsoft's AI chief just said they're pursuing true self-sufficiency and cutting their dependence on OpenAI. I guess came from the Financial Times. $13 billion invested. Now they're abandoning the sinking ship. It's over. Yeah, because OpenAI is a sinking ship. So this is the article. It's paywalled. I don't want to take their article anyway, but here's the bit. Microsoft is pursuing true self-sufficiency in AI by building its own powerful models and reducing its reliance on OpenAI, according to the company's AI chief. Mustafa Suleiman, is that right? Told the Financial Times that the strategic shift follows a restructuring of its relationship with the ChatGPT maker in October. That has prompted the $3 trillion company to build its most advanced technology independently rather than rely on an external partner. We have to develop our own foundation models, which are the absolute frontier with gigawatt. This just sounds like science fiction. With gigawatt scale compute and some of the very best AI training teams in the world, he said. Yeah, they're cooked, man. Nighthawk says, Sam Altman sounds like the kind of person who would scam you, hence why the timeline consensus is his name is Scam Altman. I can't stand his voice, the manner in which he speaks. All right. I think I read Microsoft has access to all of OpenAI's intellectual property as part of the initial data center hosting deal. So this seems like it was inevitable that they'd cut ties sooner or later. Yes, this does happen. I have heard several stories of corporations that were fishing to buy smaller companies, and what they'll do is sleazy as hell. I don't know if it's illegal or not, but they'll be like, okay, as part of the sale arrangement, or as part of our discovery or whatever, we got to know what the future looks like for you guys to evaluate your company, right? So turn over your documents, show us how you do everything. We want to know what's in the secret sauce. We want to know what the 11 herbs and spices are so we can give you a fair offer. Then they get that information and then they kill the deal because it was always about getting that information. And then they go start something similar. And I've seen this happen time and time again, especially with like a mom and pop business or privately owned company. Some corporation comes knocking and they want to see the details. So they're like, oh yeah, we're going to buy you out and da, da, da. They talk a good game. They get what they want. They get the information and then they kick you to the curb, right? Now, the alternative, unfortunately, is, like I said, they'll come in and they'll destroy you, right? If you say no, they'll destroy you. It's easier for them to just, pay you off. But I digress. But yeah, OpenAI is a sinking ship. And this is, again, talking about the AI bubble burst. I think these are all indicators that we are in the middle of it right now. We just will not. I think it's slowly bursting. We are not going to see that that's what this was until next year, that's when the bubble started to burst. I think it was with NVIDIA. I think that was part when they pulled the offer. I think the whole, the Claude, Anthropic, that whole Moltbot thing that they were creating, the Reddit, and that turned out to be fake. I think this is all a song and a dance, and I think that the AI is not as advanced. They know it. It's not as advanced as they're trying to tell people. And all these people that are leaving all of a sudden, they're like, they're leaving because the AI is going to take over the world. I don't think that's why they're leaving. I think they're leaving because the shit's burning down in real time. And I think people have realized, like, yeah, it's good for helping with, videos and making memes, and it's good for, maybe helping with research, but you cannot trust it to get shit right. Very basic shit. Fact checking, that's just very basic stuff. It does not get right. And we're talking like how many, cajillions of dollars do they spend on a computer that can't even come up with the number 42? Come on. So this person said, NVIDIA bet first, Microsoft followed, both backed OpenAI long before 2023 when Sam Altman triggered the LLM stage of the AI revolution. They harvested enormous gains. Now they're recalibrating for the next phase. Yeah, this happens all the time. Google does this too, and this is why I know this. Google was going to buy one of the companies that I worked for, and they had our CEO out, and they were like, asking how they did this and how they did that, and whatever, and then they came up with their own subsite that did basically the same thing we did, except it was free. So it was like, I see what you're doing here. So this is coming from Quartz. Microsoft is building its own AI model as it loosens ties to OpenAI. Microsoft is hedging its OpenAI bets by building its own models, chips, and leverage. So Copilot everywhere, which nobody wants, never depends on a single supplier. So they said this means developing its own advanced foundation models and continuing to reduce its reliance on OpenAI as the two companies keep their relationship intact. Either that or Microsoft will buy OpenAI because it's bleeding money. They said when your flagship AI product sits inside Microsoft 365, single supplier starts sounding like a vulnerability you have to try to explain on earnings calls. Microsoft can keep selling Copilot everywhere, but the real prize is making sure the underlying compute, security, and billing stay Microsoft shaped no matter which model is hot this quarter. Yeah. Microsoft is also trying to prove it's not just talking. In August 2025, Microsoft previewed My One Preview, calling it an in-house mixture of experts model that was pre-trained and post-trained on 15,000 NVIDIA H100 GPUs, with plans to roll it into certain Copilot text use cases. That's a lot of horsepower to do very basic shit. It's like, it kind of reminds me of when the computers used to fill a whole room, right? And all that computing power was put into a calculator not that long after the fact. And now we're going back to like, let's just have big ass computers everywhere that really still can't get things right. It's a clear marker of intent. Microsoft is building models and it's doing it at a meaningful scale on the same hardware reality as everyone else. Yeah, so that's just it. They were using OpenAI. Microsoft wants to be the place where every winning model runs and wants at least one winner to have a Microsoft badge on it. They're all running, I believe, into the wood chipper head first. I think they're all chasing AI to the detriment of everything else, and the public doesn't want it. The public's not ready for it, and I don't think the AI is ready for the public. I don't think it's there yet. It's my personal opinion, of course. So before I wrap it up, guys, hey, you got a little bit of time yet. Check out the Crimson Wren reoffer out on Kickstarter. You got like 30 hours to go, but we're going to leave it open a little bit longer than that. I think some people just didn't get the memo that we were going to offer the book again, but it's been out of print for 3 years now. So check it out on Kickstarter. Thanks for watching. We'll talk later.